Looks like we gotta save our siblings from the Urlags in this one. So in Greak Memories of Azur, it's a side-scrolling platformer where you get to play single player and control Greak, the main character who's set to rescue his brother and sister, Adara and Raydel. The Urlags have come to the land of Azur and are wreaking havoc and destroying everything. The Courines, your people, are trying to escape and build a massive airship. So this is where the story takes off. You are all alone and are separated from your siblings. You have to then rescue them. And once you do, you actually get to control them, all single player. And this is where things can sometimes get dicey. You have the ability to toggle between characters, controlling them individually or controlling them as a clump. And they do have some sort of auto attack system where if they're in front of an enemy, they will attack them. But the intelligence of this system sometimes gets in the way. Often while you're platforming, you'll just clip an edge with one of your characters and then they'll get separated. And then this makes you switch your characters, then do the platforming section all over again, and it just makes this whole system sort of cumbersome. Yes, it can work great, but ultimately, once you got 3 characters, you're having to do the same part sometimes 3 times in a row. And I think that's what unfortunately takes you away from this otherwise incredible experience. The story is great. There is so much lore within this world that you can seek out. There is a lot of reading, keep that in mind. It's kind of that old school bubble text where you're often reading paragraph after paragraph. But it's still that old aesthetic that might appeal to many. The graphics, I mean, are incredible. It has this Ori and the Blind Forest Will-o'-the-Wisp feel, where it's sort of layered. You got this art style where you have a foreground and all these different layers on your screen, and it just gives so much life and color to this game that you don't see in many other titles. The game mostly consists of quests and side quests. These side quests upgrading your characters, or just these main quests progressing the story where you and your brother and sister are here to build this ship and help the Courines escape from the terror of the Urlags. So I guess if there's one more thing I could complain about is maybe the inventory system. Both characters, all the characters, their inventory systems are all separate. So when you go to cook some items, because cooking is very important in this game, you have to basically make different healing products from the various ingredients that you pick up throughout the world. But it just makes it frustrating that you have to navigate between these 3 characters when you're either shopping or cooking. It just adds so much time, which makes it just that much more frustrating. Yes, I know you can put ingredients in the cooking pot and then switch characters and put other ingredients to add on top of it, but still this little system doesn't make up for the rest of it. So while you're out exploring the world and defeating enemies, there are boss encounters that are pretty fun, and the combat is fairly intuitive at times, but you do get that sense of reward. Also, what spikes up the difficulty is that there are only select checkpoints throughout the world. There are these save points, these stones throughout the world, that you have to use to save your progress. So is the questing, the sense of adventure in Greak Memories of Azur worth it? Well, I kind of think so. They get a lot of things right in this game. The audio is incredible. When it hits, it's unlike anything I've heard in many games. It really ramps up, but then out of nowhere, after just a couple minutes, it just goes completely silent. All of this on top of gorgeous graphics, but the unfortunate, cumbersome act of having to control 3 characters at times really can just somewhat take you out of this experience. So I'm gonna have to give this game though a 7. It still hits so many things right, and I do recommend checking it out for its just over $20 price Canadian. This game hits so many things right, with a beautifully created world that has music to set the tone and pace of the game. But all of this can be kind of hindered by the fact that you're stuck controlling all three characters at times. Maybe if they made this a 3-player game, it could have been a much smoother, cleaner experience.